Hello. Hello. Thank you for checking in. Great to see everybody. Hello. Hi. Hi, it's Hump Day. Woohoo. Some of you may have already gotten your hump on. Some of you may be waiting until after hours to get your hump. The hump is now and it's here. Hump Day. And there goes YouTube. That is how long the lag is between YouTube and Google Hangouts. Let me say hello to everybody. Allura Star and Shocker and Sturgis Guy and Tesis and House of Dave and Sam and St. Clinton and Eric and Petey and Tim and Ryan and Photo and Philip and Mark Mean and Star Raven and Angie Jonas and Fairies Lover and Lucky Girl and Azure Yusuf and the Creme and Marcel and Jim Dandy and Bill Knaus and Scott Kimmis and Tesis and House of Dave and Red Stapler, John McCain, and when QOV, Joe Barney. Thank you for checking in. Angie Jonas and Fairies Lover. Where are the oranges? Where the oranges have been eaten. Let me say hello to everyone. Let me make sure I got everyone here. Hello! Hello! So yesterday was a short show because I was completely preoccupied with my what to wear for green. Yeah, really, you know, that whole like wear green on St. Patrick's Day really throws me off because then all of a sudden I wear green all the time and all of a sudden when I feel like I'm obligated to wear green, I cannot put together an outfit. I had a really hard time. But hello, the movie was really cute. I have it's called The Second Best Marigold Hotel. I have not. There's a first one. The first movie is called The Best Marigold, The First Best Marigold Hotel, or maybe it's just called The Best Marigold Hotel. Hi, Laura. And so the second movie is called The Second Best Marigold Hotel, and it's really cute. It is a combination of American actors, English actors, and Bollywood, which, as you know, has a huge film industry. So this was a combination of all these actors, and turned out to be a really smart combination. The first movie, I haven't seen the budget, the first movie had a budget of $10 million, which is really low for a theatrically released film with a whole bunch of names in it. But most of the names, while they're big, well-known names, they're not big box office money names like Judi Dench and other people in it. The first movie was made for $10 million and made between the U.S. profits and international profits $200 million. Now, that is an incredible return on investment. And this is a movie without explosions, with, you know, with a good script, without a whole bunch of silly, you know, CGI. It doesn't have any sex or violence. It doesn't have like a cast full of teenage models. Has a lot of old actors, funny-looking actors, all kind, and $200 million profit. I'd say that would be a really good business model for a lot of filmmakers to make. You know, because that's, if 10 goes into 200, how many times does 10 million go into 200 million? That'd be 20 times your investment. And these other movies, these big budget movies that they're making, if they spend $150 million on it, even if they make, you know, $500 million profit, that's still just under 3 times their investment. That's it. I mean, when you spend, this is math. This is math, people. Basic math. You don't have to spend, in fact, when you spend $150 million, it's almost impossible to make a really huge profit because you spent too much money. And the movie is really cute, really fun, and Richard Gere's in this one. I don't know what their budget was. If their budget was increased or not, but it's turned out to have a. Oh, that's good, Laura. Larry says, one of my credit cards got hacked, but it was caught by Chase Fraud Protection Services. Yeah, well, credit card companies, because you don't need to lose your credit card. You can have your credit card at home because they're not even hacking you personally. They're hacking stores and big companies and banks so that they can hack, like, they're not hacking one person at a time. They're hacking places where they can get, thousands of names at a time. Oh, Angie says, yes, I just saw the second best. That's right. Angie's. Let me rephrase. The movie I was talking about, which I couldn't seem to get the title correct for, the movie I saw, which I should know, but Angie is helping me. The movie I saw was called The Second Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. The first movie was called The Best Exotic Marigold Hotel. The first best exotic Marigold Hotel. I should know this, but thank you, Angie, for having my back. But anyhow, it's a really cute, fun movie. I recommend it. It's a movie that even you, Allura, actually, Allura, you would love it. It's fun and cute and sweet. And I'm not sure if the first one is online, if you can watch it. It stars Dev Patel is the Bollywood male star in it. It's probably on TV. But I am most impressed with the fact that they were so... They made a really good movie. The guy who's the director is the director from Shakespeare in Love, which won some Academy Awards. But they were so responsible with the budget to make a big ensemble cast like that, shot on location, with all those different actors in it. $10 million budget, which seems tiny compared to all of these big budget, action movies that are $200 million budgets. So $10 million budget with all those people in it. Yes, Dev was in Slumdog Millionaire. And he's only like 24. He's really young still. And this movie, so the first one made 20 times its investment, $200 million so far, and it's still making money. This is with, old female actresses in their 60s and 70s and 80s, actors and actresses, $200 million. Mm-hmm. Allura says she's going to be living in a ghost town next year. Well, that's a good thing you're able to channel the spirits, or you'll have no one to talk to. Allura's going to be alone in the woods just talking to dead people. I've seen dead people. And they're horrible singers. And hi Philip and Linda. Hi everybody on YouTube. Oh, Linda, I guess you made it. Okay. So how's everybody's day going? It's a little it's a much cooler and a little less sunny here today, Los Angeles. much cooled off. I'm not hot at all. In fact, I have a sweater on, a light, very light sweater, but. And I think I have some progress to report on the flower lady, and it could be just temporary progress, but so far, Monday, Tuesday, and today. Monday and Tuesday, she just walked by through the alley. Today, it looked like today she walked up as far as the back and didn't even come all the way back here. She walked up to the end where the parking lot is and turned around and walked back and didn't touch any flowers, and it looked like she had a new fresh change of clothes on, and her hair looked washed and brushed. So I think the Adult Protective Services was supposed to be visiting and talking to her son yesterday. I'm hoping maybe there's a positive effect to the my flowers will not be molested, attacked, killed, destroyed. And B, I'm hoping that the Adult Protective Services will start kind of like pushing her son to take better care of her. You know, because the bottom line is she's 93 and living alone with dementia and doesn't speak the language. That's like living in solitary confinement. Linda says, yes, Linda, I got her a caseworker. She has one. I spoke to her yesterday, and she was going to go, I talked to her on Monday, I think, and she was going to try and visit yesterday, for the first time. So I made the report, and there's a caseworker assigned to investigate. So today she didn't come back, and she looked like she had fresh changed and washed and stuff. So I'm crossing my fingers for the best of all possible outcomes. Thank you, Sue. I'm trying to be a good person. Of course, I've yelled a few times. I've yelled. I feel bad because, you know what, I'm thinking, I'm like, I should have reported this a long time ago. The only reason I was taking time and energy to report it was because it was something that was affecting me. So and on one hand, I was like, okay, you're reporting it because you want to save your flowers, but really, you should be paying more attention. I was thinking to myself, I should be paying more attention and noticing if people need help to take the initiative and see what can be done to help people. Because, I saw her for the last 9 months walking around with the shoes falling apart. I fixed her shoe. It wasn't until they got in touch with the son. Even then, I should have been like, hey, what's going on? Who's taking care of this woman? It took a while for us to find out. It wasn't until like a month ago that I knew her name. I couldn't do anything until I had to keep prodding the policeman to find out and get like the name and information. So it wasn't until I had her name that I could do anything, because you can't just say a random old lady walking on the street. You have to have a name and an address. But I'm hoping that this will help improve her too, because I'm thinking of how I would feel, how lost and alone I would feel if I was 93, dementia, all alone, couldn't speak the language in another country, just walking around, everybody yelling at me just because I'm stealing stuff. So, and Fairies Lover, speaking of being a good citizen, Fairies Lover, tell us about, you have a film. You guys were raising money on Indiegogo for your film about helping people, right? Right? Tell us what's going on with that. Fairies Lover has a film, and it's called Be Kind. Awesome. Are and you've raised $4,000 to make your film called Be Kind. And what's the film? What's going to happen in this film? Is there a plot or storyline, or is it a documentary? It's basically it's going to be just a film, like a documentary film of you guys going around and helping people and doing random acts of kindness, spreading positivity, doing good works. That hopefully. That's excellent, Fairies Lover. Well, I hope that works out. That sounds great. Oh, yes. David Jones says, did you hear about that? Uh, well, actually, he was already being arrested for murder. The two just happened to happen at the same time. There's a guy. Now, what was this guy's name? Jinx. His last name is Jinx. And apparently he killed his first wife in like the 80s. And he killed her best friend because she knew information about him and was going to tell the police. And he killed a neighbor. So apparently he's killed several people. They were doing and somehow was able to get off and claim they didn't find bodies, claim self-defense. They weren't able to prove that he killed them, even though everybody pretty much knew that he did it. And he's some very wealthy family. And they were doing a documentary. They've been filming a documentary about him for several years, I guess. And it seems like he's a bit of a psychopath. Talks to himself. And at the same time, the police have still been investigating him. And it turns out that a letter that he wrote to the police about finding the body and a letter that he wrote to the woman who was killed, exact writing and misspellings and everything. So they were able to connect the two things together, and at the same time, the documentary. Actually, I believe I read that this filming was done months ago, but they just aired recently. They had actually filmed that a long time ago, but it just aired at the same time that the police actually officially charged him with murder again. But this time they have more evidence because they aired the part where he was still with his microphone on and he went in the bathroom and he's talking to himself like a crazy person saying, of course I killed them all. I killed them. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't know. What the hell? Some kind of, like, really, this guy seems scary. He's like a character from a character from like a Batman, like a psychopathic character from a Batman movie or something, like a comic book villain. He doesn't even seem like a human. Wing Doggy says, yes, from now on, be careful when you talk to yourself in the bathroom. Wing Doggy also has that finds it awkward when he talks to himself in the bathroom. Come on, little buddy. You can do it. Squeeze it out. Oh. Did I say that out loud? Probably a good idea not to talk to yourself in the bathroom. no matter what you're saying. Allura says she won't even talk to the Afterlife in the bathroom, but that's because of a really upsetting incident. Somebody, and we're not going to name names, was making fun. Yeah. Just because you can see everything doesn't mean you need to say everything, Mr. Afterlife person. Not going to name names. But from now on, Allura is not talking to any of you. Speaking of Afterlife, I read this. I read a really intriguing article about a little kid who I think was in Texas. He's about 4 or 5 years old. Who, when he was like 2 or 3, started telling his mother about, I used to be somebody else, and started telling her stuff about his life, who he used to be, and which was really weird because he was a little kid, doesn't know anything about anything, and he knew all this stuff about stuff there's no way he could have known. Started telling his mother about how he used to travel and dance and go out to parties and Rita Hayworth and naming all these big stars. And he used to work in Hollywood in an office where they changed people's names, and he lived on a street with the word rock in it, and all this stuff about his life. And he was like 4 years old, and his mother doesn't believe in this stuff anyhow, but she started looking through books, old Hollywood books, and they were trying to find information about the stuff he was talking about, trying to see, like, what, is any of this stuff real? So she started looking to see if any of this stuff was real. And she's flipping through one of the books, and it has pictures of, like, some scenes from some old movies. And the little kid points to a guy who turns out it was a picture of a bunch of actors in a movie scene, points to a guy and says, that's me. That's who I was. And the mother's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And they track it down. They have to find out who it is, because it wasn't a famous actor. Because a lot of times people, when they're like, oh, I used to be somebody, everybody used to be a king or something. No, it was an extra from this movie. A guy who was an extra in, like, I don't know, like the 30s or 40s or something. He was an extra, and then he went on to be an agent in an agency and worked with all these people. They changed names. He lived on Roxbury, and the little kid told his mother it's really upsetting to him to live all of your life until you're 61 and then die and come back as a baby and have to start all over again, and which they thought was weird because this guy was listed as dying at 59. When they finally did investigating, they found out that they had lied about his age. He really was 61 when he died. And all this stuff that nobody knew about, like when they contacted his daughter, the little kid knew all this stuff. And really weird and freaky about reincarnation. And this little kid he knew that the guy had 2 sisters. The guy's daughter didn't even know that her father had another sister until they did investigating. Then I just read about this little kid. I think he was like 4 or 5 when all this was happening, and I think he was in, like, Texas. How crazy is that? So I don't know, but do. Linda says that's proof that they're a ripoff if they always say that you're a famous people. Yeah, so so this little kid was like, knew all this stuff about this obscure guy who had lived and worked in Hollywood. He wasn't famous, he wasn't rich and powerful, but he had done a bunch of stuff. So that's really crazy. In fact, if I can find that article, I will try and retweet it. Sue says, I have dreams sometimes that I hear voices in my head. Is that normal? No, it's not normal. It just means that you're supposed to turn the TV off. It's because you fell asleep with the TV on. What do the voices say, Sue? Sue's voices always tell her to do horrible things. Murderous, diabolical things. David Jones says, yes, it's normal for a crazy person, fairies lover. And Allura says, what is normal? And Sue says, her voices in her head just tell her what to do and to go for it. Woohoo! Wait, so Sue, your voices in your head are positive, affirming, you can do it voices? That sounds pretty awesome, Sue. The voices in Sue's head tell her that she's awesome, that she can do it. I'm going to hit the headache. I hope you feel it, Angie. Well, yes. Sue, maybe that is your guardian angel. Your ancestors. Giving you support and encouraging you. You can do it. Or maybe it's just yourself. Maybe it's just yourself telling yourself that you can do it. It's that little voice inside of you. So, well, that's awesome, Sue. Oh, Winged Doggy just put the link up. Side effects from a shampoo? Must be some serious shampoo. Angie, the voices in your head, don't listen to those voices, Angie. That's a negative. You need to listen to the positive. Awesome. David Jones and Winged Doggy just posted the link for anyone who wants to read the story about the little kid who remembers his past life. Very crazy. All right, so it is 5:48. Hi, Teasus. It is 5:48, so we're just about to sign off. But I want to encourage everybody to listen to the positive voices in your head. Angie, you'll have to check with Sue to find out how you can call up and invite some of those positive voices to start living in your head. But yeah, I want to encourage everyone to support the positive voices in your head, and I will be back tomorrow for Stupid Question Day! Woohoo! I hope you'll have some questions for the genius, and Friday is Funny Friday. Let me say goodbye to everybody. Star and Shocker and Sturgis Guy and Tesis and have some Dave and Sam and St. Clinton and Eric and Petey and Tim and Ryan and Photo and Philip and Mark Mean and Star Raven. and Andrew Yusuf and the Cram, and Marcel, and Jim Dandy, and Sturgis Guy, and Philip, and Sam, and St. Clinton, and Red Stapler, and N1QOV, and John McCain, and Joe Barney, and Photo, and Wing Doggy, and Sue, and Angie Jonas. Make sure I got everybody. David Jones, Marcel. Thank you. And Kata Kuna Mika Kuchitaro. What an awesome name! Thank you so much for checking in. Nice to meet you. And T says, I am in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. I'm in Los Angeles, not Hollywood, but I'm just about to sign off. But I will be back tomorrow at 5:15 Los Angeles time. And if you're not already following me on Twitter, please do. It's just Lorielle New. That's where I put updates and schedule changes. Tomorrow is Stupid Question Day, 5:15 Los Angeles time. Oh, Angie says I'm saying it wrong. Hakuna Matata. Hakuna Matata. Wait. Katakuna. I'm going to say that name again. Katakuna. I said it wrong. Anyhow, awesome. Nice to meet you. Kisses for everybody. Bye. I love you. I love you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. And nice to meet you. Katakuna. 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 I like that name. All right. Bye. It sounds like an awesome, like it sounds like a meal, like a fancy dish, some fancy exotic dish on a menu. Bye. I love you.